So although using consumer price index inflation is the best metric to index cost of living and to think about retirement, there are some pitfalls of it as well if we look at it from a long time period. Let's take a look. So first and foremost, what is CPI inflation? Well, CPI is based on a basket of goods, and we're assuming that we're buying the same basket of goods for many, many years, and therefore we want to evaluate how much that basket of goods costs if we're to buy the same thing from one year to the next. So when you think about that, there's a few things that can be worrisome if you keep that same basket for many years. If you keep it for only a few years and you're just looking at the trend from like this year to the next year and the year after that, it's not too much of a big deal. But when you have like really long trends, it becomes harder. And the reason why it becomes harder is for three big reasons. First off, some of the goods that you might be buying in 5 years' time or 10 years' time do not currently exist. Therefore, it's hard to take into account the introduction of new goods. So you might no longer buy some of these goods in this current basket of goods in the future in favor of something else. So let's say you used to buy CDs for music and now you have streaming services. Things have changed. So that's one of the things that is faulty with having the same basket for too long of a time. Another problem is that you cannot substitute. You have this substitution bias. So why would you want to substitute? Why would from one year to the next, you'd decide, I want to buy less bananas. And then the year after that, okay, I'll buy bananas again. Well, I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I was traveling in Australia and I found that bananas were extremely expensive. I learned afterward that it was because they had trouble with supply due to weather issues. And because of that, the price of bananas was substantially higher than what I was used to paying. So when I was there, I just didn't buy any bananas. I bought other fruits instead. And that's something that I have available to me because I'm a consumer, go to the grocery store. I'm not forced to buying the same basket of goods as previous years. I adapt my basket of goods due to certain goods increasing price more temporarily than others. And afterwards, when I got back, I started buying bananas again. If I stayed in that country, it would have been like banana consumption, a dip, and then coming back. Whereas if we look at the CPI approach to this, it would assume that we bought the same level of bananas throughout. Therefore, there'd be a spike in inflation for that specific good in that year's time. It doesn't allow for substitution. And the last one, which is a little trickier to understand, is unmeasured quality change. So that third one is just certain things that you may have bought in the past are now so much better. So you might not need to buy as much. How do you adjust for that? So the same computer, the same other things, you might not need to buy the same high-tiered device. You might be able to buy a lower tier because just the quality has ramped up. So it doesn't mean that you're going to keep paying the high-priced item. You might buy something else. And with cars, if they're becoming more efficient, you might require less fuel, but we kind of assume that you're consuming the same level of fuel, so on and so forth. So just little things to consider. Like I said, if you're looking at CPI for a few years, that's not really an issue. The basket of goods is pretty stable. But if you start looking at for long periods of time, you have to think about, well, what is the reference year? What year is these prices based on or the quantities based on? And how has the reality changed before and after in terms of consumption? I wish you the best. Have a good day. If you found this video interesting, please consider subscribing or joining my class where I guide you to apply and expand on the information found in these videos to real life examples. Have a good day.